Everybody in this room is a miracle. And each and every day you wake up and you have that choice. And I know I'm my own best friend. I know I'm my own worst enemy. And every day I wake up and I make that choice. Who am I going to be? And by putting a set things in place, I can either walk down that path and be my best friend, or I can walk down that path and be my worst enemy. And I think what tripped Dean out is I wasn't trying to sell him a program. You know, this is it, man. It's your life. It's your space. It's your race. What do you want to do? And there's tons of knowledge out there. We know that. In and out of our industry. The challenge is everybody's looking for an answer. But don't look for answers. I think what you need to do is ask the right question. And if you ask the right question, guess what? You'll get the right answer. But if you simply, because you don't know who you are, you don't know why you do what you do, you're just out there butt naked to everything that's there, and you're just taking on information that may be very unhealthy for you. You know, and as Sam will share later with you guys, there's a lot of bad information out there, and there's a lot of myths that need to be dispelled. So when I came aboard, when I decided to open a legitimate school at the age of 38, people don't know this, but I owned one school when I was 19, and I was a fighter at the time. It was down in LA. Every night was fight night. That school lasted 9 months. A white belt, yay, fresh meat. You know, I got to train for a tournament. And anybody who came through the door, we fought, and so that school lasted 9 months and it was closed. But when I decided to throw my hat into the arena at 38, I looked at the business models out there, and none of them resonated with me. I grew up in an era we never had contracts, we never had belt fees. It was just so unnatural. So by default, when I would hear those stories, I would go, that doesn't make any sense to me. It just didn't make sense. So I created a business model that doesn't exist. Now, there's a lot of people in our industry that do things without contracts, without belt fees, without upgrades, but they don't make very much money at all. And we know that, right? We probably have instructors like that, and the band played on. So I was creating something that didn't exist. There was no data to support what I was doing. So I had to create systems that were never there. I couldn't replicate somebody's behavior. I had to create something that didn't exist. So it took a little time. But by the time we hit year 7 and we broke our first mill, at the San Francisco location, we haven't looked back. And I'll share that later when I show you numbers, but last year we did 1.8 million. And we did that without contracts, upgrades, belt fees, enrollment fees. You don't see an office here, you won't see an office in San Francisco. We don't close people, we don't sit you down, we do none of those things. And I know it sounds really unorthodox, but so was the iPad at one point, right? Remember when there were no iPads? Remember when there were no cell phones? Anybody here? Yeah, no cell phones. So somebody sat there and said, hey, I'm going to make this thing called a cell phone. And people looked at him like you were nuts. So Dean is proof of that, and later I'll have Hester and Andy say something. There's indications that this does work. And it may not be more money or more students, but it might be freedom. And the only thing that's going to free you is your mindset. Cool? So that's what we're going to start with today. Today we're going to start with the mindset to success. And I'm very passionate about this. You think of people like Tony Robbins, all the different motivational speakers out there. And really, I think the big shifting for Dean was his mindset. And I like starting with this. And people say, well, how does it get me 10 more students? That's the wrong question. Stop asking that question. How do I get 10 more students? Stop it. Because you're living in a state of fear. See, if your fear is about how to get 10 more students, you're afraid you'll never have enough to eat, you won't have a roof over your head. I don't think that's been the case for most people in this room. You at least have food in your mouth and a roof over your head somehow, some way. So stop worrying about how to get 10 new students, okay? So creating a values and service-based mindset, it gives us purpose and it allows us to prosper. And when I talk about prosperity, it's emotionally, spiritually, physically, socially, and of course, financially. We had that discussion last night at dinner, and money is a vehicle. Money is not your God. Money is not who you live by, but money is a vehicle. You need money to do the things you want to do. The car you drive, flying out here, the hotel you're staying in, it all requires money. So if you look at money as a tool and stop looking at money as this, money is the root of all evil, money leads to greed, then I think that'll help a lot in perpetuating that, okay? So you are the architect. You determine your success. It's based upon having the vision to build the life and the business you deserve. You get exactly what you deserve. Not what I deserve, not what he thinks you deserve. You get exactly what you deserve based upon your mindset. So that's what needs to change. Those of you that are suffering, your school is stuck, it's not growing, you're not going where you want to go, it's because of your mindset. That's where it begins and that's where it ends. Nothing is more important than what is important to you. These are all the things I live by. So I put this list together and I really want to share that with you. Nothing is more important than what is important to you. There are many negative influences that will distract you from what is truly important to you at a heart level. Any of you that know me personally, I live and die by my heart. That's it. That's what I do because it makes me the richest person in the world. I've sat with billionaires that are really grumpy and unhappy and mean. I've hang out with homeless people that are probably richer than most people. So I've come to understand that money does not make you happy. It does not. Clearly define what is important to you by writing it down and prioritizing it. Who's ever done that? Quickly, write down the 3 most important things in your life. Quickly. The 3 most important things in your life. And there should be no hesitation, right? If it's that important, if it's that clear, if it's that well defined, you should be able to spit out a laundry list, okay? Give me one. Shout it out. Family, okay? However you define your family, girlfriend, boyfriend, mom, dad, grandparents, whatever the case. Family, most important. Something else. Freedom. Health, yeah. So do you prioritize your health? Do you prioritize your family? Do you prioritize that freedom? I speak in the jails. And I was in the jail. And I was speaking to the inmates. And I said, what are you most grateful for? What is the most important thing in your life? Guy raises his hand. My family, man. I said, no, it's not. He goes, what do you mean? I thought he was going to jump up and beat me up. I said, well, if your family was your priority, then you wouldn't be doing this reckless, inappropriate behavior that took you away from your family and put you in jail. Easy to say. Family is the most important part of your life. But is it really? Is it really? In your every thought, word, and action, do you exemplify that family is the most important part of your life? Get honest about that. It applies to your business. Everybody says, I want to be successful. I want to be financially well off. But do you really? And what thought, word, and action on a daily basis is exemplifying that and showing that's the case? So once you've prioritized that and you're clear about that, anything that's not on that list, get rid of it. Toxic people. I know every one of you have a toxic person in your life. At least one. Anybody? At least one? Get rid of them. Or just see them at Thanksgiving and Christmas, right? Very limited doses. Toxic people, get rid of it. Anything that's not on that list, and I want you to not right now, but take the time to write that list and sit and really, really meditate over it. And whatever's on that list, you prioritize, you create an action list and say, okay, health. Okay, how do I think healthy? Well, great. I read appropriate things. I don't watch too much news, right? I go to church, whatever the case may be. Okay, that's my mind, my body. I eat healthy, I exercise. Great. My heart, what do I do to keep my heart healthy? Right? If health is a priority, and heart health is very important. If you're a sad person, you're a depressed person, guess what? That turns into stress, that turns into physical illness. So your mind, body, and spirit. Are you taking care of those 3 things health-wise to truly be healthy? And you got to be honest about that because you're your own best friend and you're your own worst enemy every day. Every day. And eliminate those things. I've really cleared that path. And you know what's amazing about that? 2 things happen. You either clear the path of those people and that thinking and those actions, and you have this clear path to success, or organically, like light on a vampire, they disappear. They disappear. Because unsuccessful, unhappy people don't want to hang around successful, happy people. They don't. Because it amplifies their state. It amplifies their existence. And also for you. It's not that you're better than them, you just don't have energy. You don't have the heart to put into people like that. Has anybody had anybody like that in your life and you just separate? You got to. Because they just suck the life out of you, do they not? And then you're distracted from your path to freedom and financial wealth and success because you're so busy here taking care of that. Right? Now, I'm not asking you not to be compassionate. There's a huge difference. is a huge difference. I've got a relative like that, and I've got a relative like that, and I just co-signed for their car. I did. That wasn't much. It was only $15,000, but needed a car and started a new business, and I want to help them out, and there you go. So we still have those. But $15,000 is not a lot to me, so I can keep that at arm's length and know I did a good deed. So next one is, make sure I didn't skip a slide there. Okay. Next thing is be in tune with your star player. Now, Cat Williams, as vulgar as he is, one of the most profound things that comedian said was, be in tune with your star player. Take a moment, think about that. Your star player. Who is that star player? Any idea? Yourself, but define that to me. Self. Yeah. Cool. I dig that. Right, and all those layers are everything that's been fed to you since the day you were born. You were born perfect. Then one day somebody said, good Sasha, bad Sasha. Okay, if I act like this, people will approve of me. If I act like that, people will disapprove of me. Okay, first set of values. Then for me, growing, MTV. If I'm like the rock star in MTV, people will think I'm cool. Great. If I do what my father says, I become a state champion. Now they approve of me. So then pretty soon, and we won't even throw in magazines, women, throw out Vogue, McCall, all those silly magazines, get rid of them. Get rid of them. They're useless. They just, take you down. So pretty soon you're buried under all those layers. So if I took away everything away, if I took it away, Steve, if I took away Steve the father, Steve the husband, Steve the school owner, who would you be? Hopefully, right? But who is that? And that's the person you need to feed. It's easy to feed Brannon the dad. I'm going to take the kids to Las Vegas with the wife next weekend. Yay, I'm Brannon the dad. Everybody thinks I'm cool, right? Right? Brannon the professor. Yay, I'm teaching here, I'm teaching there. People think I'm cool. Take it away. So if I had to just be me without all the titles, without all the relationships, that's the person I need to feed. That's the person you'll see throw up that video at 3 a.m. playing his guitar, just singing. All right, if you ever see those videos, yeah, that's me. That's me without that. I don't need to be nothing to anybody but me. You need to feed that person. Without the black belt, without all those titles, figure out who that is and take care of them. Because that is your path to success. Because if I count on this to be happy, if I count on the number of zeros in my bank account to be happy, I'm in a very bad place. Am I much happier with it? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But it does not define my happiness. Only the self defines the happiness. Fair enough? And through that path of self-discovery, you'll define who you are. And then once you define who you are, do everything you can to build upon that constantly. Constantly. On a daily basis. What's some of the things we can do to do that? Any ideas? Journal. How many of you keep a journal? You should write on a daily basis. Writing on a daily basis has been amazing for me. Amazing. I have 2 books that are ready to come out. Right? They're at the press. They're being printed now. Writing is very therapeutic. Writing is a path to self-discovery. What else? Reflection, meditation, prayer, whatever you do. You need to reflect. You need to get quiet. You have so much noise around us. So much noise. So many distractions. Right? So many distractions. Cell phone. iPad. TV. Right? Alexa, play this song now. I mean, it's trippy. You got so many distractions that it just separates you further and further and further from yourself. Because once you're in tune, like Dean's saying, it's amazing. They just come walking through the door. The law of attraction is powerful. It's powerful. Last week I was teaching a self-defense workshop at Facebook, and I was amazed at the law of attraction. All these doors have opened for us. And I had nothing to do with it. We just do what we do, and they sought us out. Facebook sought us out, and the law of attraction. This is important for me. I've really learned this. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. There is so much noise and hype fighting for your attention. So much noise. So much of it. Think about it. I caught myself one day, and I kid you not, the TV was on, I'm working at my computer, and I'm doing a Facebook Live into my phone. How insane is that? Pretty insane, right? I mean, we cannot multitask. That is an illusion. A computer, the terminology multitask was developed for computers, not human beings. There's a great book called The One Thing. Has anybody seen that book? I've mentioned it. Read that book, The One Thing. And it really teaches you the path to success is to do one thing until you are done. Then do another thing until you are done. That is truly the path. And it makes all the sense in the world to me. Social media is a tool, but keep it in balance. Keep it in balance, okay? Slick salesmen are always ready to sell you their lies and will tell you you are not doing it right when it doesn't work. How many of you worked with a consultant, sir, and it didn't work out, and the first thing they said to you is, you're not doing it right? The famous last words of a consultant who's not holding himself at the highest level of accountability, you're not doing it right. And they're everywhere. And you know what they look for? Your fear. They feed on your fear. Your fear that you need to make rent. Your fear that you're not at the level of success you should be and you're getting older. Your fear. They prey upon your fear. And if you know thyself and you're okay with thyself, guess what? You live out of love, not fear. And it's the truth. When Dean was at the Super Show, he was crying. He sat there in that booth with me crying. He was so afraid that he's approaching 50s right around the corner, and he's been doing this for 36 years. He's got 110 students, and this sucks. I'm afraid. Can I do this when I'm 60? Can I do this when I'm 70? Can I do this when I'm 80? There's no way. Your body cannot physically keep that pace. So things needed to change. And once he let go of it was mainly your mindset, right, Dean? It was really his mindset. That's what we worked on. He went through all the other 8-month courses, but it was really his mindset that we spent a lot of time nurturing. And through that process, all the doors opened. Everything opened. It opened up in such a big way. Such a big way. The new hype in sales-based websites, Facebook ads, Google ads, etc., it's hype. It's all hype. It really is when the day's done. If you go to my website right now, I have a really horrible website. Horrible website. I did minimal Facebook ads last year. We just started doing Google ads now, and we did 1.8 million. How's that possible? And I'll explain how we do, but how is that possible? Don't believe the hype. What was it 2 years ago? You had to have reviews. Now it's, videos in your Facebook ads. Next year they're going to sell you something else, and then they're going to sell you something else and sell you something else. Gary Vee said it. Look out. Facebook ads are going to get saturated. And once they're completely saturated, because everybody's running a Facebook ad. That's the way Facebook set it up. Any one of us can go in there and run our own Facebook ad, can we not? Any one of us can run it. Any one of us can run it. So media is at our fingertips now. And people spend a lot of money wastefully because they don't understand it, but because it's so easy, it's so convenient. I'll run a Facebook ad because I really need 10 students. I want to run this Facebook ad. There is no magic bullet. There is no magic bullet. Any great company is built over time, sustainably, and you grow it. I can't plant a seed and look at a young sapling and go, give me fruit, give me fruit, give me fruit. I'm going to kill it. Will I not? I will kill it. The same thing with growing your business. But if you think standing there just looking at the plant like this, that's not going to grow it. Or like that one saying, who said that? Einstein. If you want to see somebody fail, make an elephant climb a tree. Right? It'll never happen. I can stand here and dance around the plant. I can do it. It's not going to grow. I need to keep it in sunlight. I need to water it. I need to fertilize it. I need to do all the prudent things so that has the best chance of growing and bearing fruit. Same thing with your business. So much of the salesman and this hype and these distractions dominate your thinking. You ever spend 14 hours in your school doing it. And when the day's done, you've done nothing. And you stand there and go, what did I get done today? Absolutely nothing. Say it again, right? It's nothing. And that's because you're not clear about who you are. That definition's not there. It's like getting in your car and just driving without any direction, without any guidance, without any roadmap, not even checking if you have oil. Is your tank full of gas? I mean, people do that every day with their lives, and it's so detrimental. So detrimental. So we do agree, there is no magic bullet. There is no quick fix for being successful. Are we clear on that? Time is your most precious commodity. Time to me is worth so much. I have a 5 and an 8-year-old. Time to me is crucial, is valuable, super valuable. Use it wisely because you can never get it back. I can't look at my daughter who's 5 when she's 10 years old and say, hey, Taya, Papa has time now. Can you be 5 again? I need you to be 5. I want to do 5. I wasn't around when you were 5, but I want 5 back. Can we do that? We can't. We can't. And I know, everybody professes hustle. Me, success never sleeps. 24/7. I get that. But you got to balance your life. You need to balance your life. That is really, really, really important. Because that effective time management is why I'm in the place I'm at. I'm 55. I think I look good for my age. Do I look stressed out? No. No, I'm not. But I spent that 80 hours a week so I could be in this position. I spent that time to cultivate my life to where it is today. And you can too. I grew up on welfare and food stamps. I lived in foster homes. When I started that first school at 38, people don't know this. I had blew through all my money as a rock star. I was living in my sister's house, paying $500 a month for a room. $40,000. I was teaching all these different schools and health clubs, and Taibo was big, and I was the Taibo guy, teaching Taibo everywhere. And me and my instructor had a falling out. $40,000 for my friends collectively. $5,000 here, $2,000 there, $10,000 from an outside investor. $40,000 that wasn't mine is what started the San Francisco location. So if I can do it, you can. And that was 38. 38. Yeah, I'd pissed through $160,000 in like 6 months. I was done with rock and roll. I was just coming back. I was just a beast. I was so unbalanced from that rock and roll lifestyle because it just feeds your ego. It doesn't feed your heart. It doesn't feed you. So if I can do it at 38 and be where I am today, you guys can do it easily. You just have to be very clear about who you are and what it is you want to do with your life. Schedule in time for everything and everyone that matters to you. I learned this one recently, and I've already done it for years, but how many of you make lists? Who makes lists? Okay? And how many of you get all those things done on your list? And how many of you feel guilty when you don't get that list done? When you look at that list at the end of the week, I didn't get this done. Stop making lists. Start scheduling in things. That Google Calendar sends me an alert. Ding, ding, ding. Go to the gym. Okay. Ding, ding, ding. Go watch your daughter's swim class. Stop making lists. Start scheduling things in. And if you schedule it in, you're more likely to act upon it and get it done. Cool?